Typically speaking, I'm generally not that big of a fan of like the kind of high school like romantic dramedy type films or like teen high school romance kind of films. That's usually not really my thing, even when I was younger. Unless it's like a John Hughes movie like The Breakfast Club or 16 Candles, because he kind of wrote the book on that kind of filmmaking. But as generic and cookie cutter as a lot of these like teen rom-droms tend to be, it is still kind of nice to see a different perspective of that type of filmmaking, because you never know, it might be interesting, you know? Yeah, cue the music. Hey everybody, how's it going? How you doing? Welcome back. So for today we're talking about a film called Love Like the Falling Rain, which is a little overdramatic of a title, but so are a lot of movies of this caliber. And is this movie doing anything special, or is it anything great? No, I wouldn't quite go that far. However, it's also really not bad either, because there's a few little slivers of genius that happen throughout the movie and a couple moments of tension that, you know, it wasn't bad. It kept my attention. The basic plot of the movie, it's nothing really all that special. It's about a guy and a girl who are best friends, and they're about high school, maybe like community college age. And lo and behold, the guy best friend has a giant crush on the female best friend. But of course, he has trouble expressing that because he doesn't want to ruin the friendship. He doesn't want to lose her. Meanwhile, she tends to date a bunch of, you know, dudes that are either losers, don't care about her, just, she gets in a lot of fleeting relationships. And then the movie chronicles a bunch of events that kind of push the friendship forward or move it backward, you know, wherever the movie decides to go. Now, is this movie anything original? Not really. You've seen a lot of the same story points and story beats happen in this movie that you've seen in countless other movies. But this is an Indonesian film, and to my American eyes, it was nice to see kind of a different, not fresh necessarily, but a kind of an interesting take with a few variables kind of switched around that you don't normally see. Because I don't typically watch foreign films that are from a specific country. I just kind of, you know, whatever country it's from, read the subtitles. But some of the music was cool. It had an alright pace to it, and like both the main characters, they're relatable. They're, you know, you like them, you care about them. And the whole time you're just rooting for that male best friend to actually like grow some confidence and actually say how he feels. You know, there's things you root for. The movie was a little overly vibrant though, as far as the color palette. Like everything, pretty much every household or every set in the movie looked brand spanking new, like it was on like a sitcom or something. However, I don't know if I can call that a negative, because maybe that's just typical for a lot of Indonesian films. I don't know, I can't say for sure. But from my perspective, it was noticeable, so I don't think it's unfair that I pointed out. But like the music was good, some of the ancillary side characters were kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about the acting, because there were some really heartfelt moments in the movie, and then there's other moments where, particularly the female best friend was a little too overly animated, either with her voice or with her physicality. So I don't know if that totally connected with me. But I did say that this movie did have a few strokes of genius, and that is true, because it did. Specifically, there's a scene where it's a kind of a double date scenario, and it's a really long take too. Like it's at least a couple minutes long. And it's kind of a slow scene. It's very drawn out, but it's really uncomfortable, and it's purposely uncomfortable. And I won't give too much away, but it's like this very subtle battle of wits, like this kind of underhanded metaphorical speaking. And I thought that entire scene was just brilliant, actually. And another example is there's a character who does a lot of rock climbing, and while he's kind of taking a break, one of his friends says to him, you know, you can't beat nature, so you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. And the dude replies to that character with, I'm not trying to beat nature. I'm just trying to beat who I was yesterday. And I don't know about you, but that right there, that is a seriously deep philosophical statement. Because the reality is, as far as the rest of the world is concerned, you really can't control anything. You can't control nature, you can't control people, you can't control the weather, you can't control a lot of things, but you can control your reaction to those things. Because, like me, you may very well be a garbage person. However, if you try and improve upon that, no matter how small the increments are, you're slightly less of a negative person than you were before, and that's progress, and it's important to note things like that if you're going to have an honest perspective of yourself. So the movie is definitely not without value, because it presents very little snippets of philosophical ideas like that. But at the end of the day, it was still kind of mediocre. Again, nothing you haven't seen before, and there's midway through the movie, there's this kind of weird crying scene that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, I understand why the person was crying, but just the dynamic of the way that scene played out, it didn't feel realistic to me. And then lastly, there's the whole last 20 minutes of the film, it just comes way out of left field. Like the movie just starts traveling at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you're just like, whoa, how did we get here? Which was kind of cool, because it was interesting, because I did not expect the story to go the direction that it did, but also the last like couple minutes of the movie, I don't know how to describe it, just the dynamics of the last few minutes just felt weird and unrealistic, but there was a purpose to it, so I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted about it. But anyway, guys, overall, it's not a terrible film, but it's not doing anything overly progressive necessarily. But the movie, I found some merit in the movie still at the end of the day. So I think for a score out of 10, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.0. If you're kind of bored and you got an hour and a half to kill, like maybe this is a movie to watch, maybe not. But if you're looking for a movie with like a lot of laughs or an overt emotional response, I can't say I'd put this movie on in that category. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen the movie? Have you heard of it? Hop in the comments, let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this review, as usual, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, comment, do all that other YouTube-y shenanigans. And I will catch you guys next time.